In today's video, we're going to see if the US dollar can actually be backed up by gold, if that's mathematically possible or not. So here's a little overview. Back in 1971, when gold was money, 1 ounce of gold was worth 35 US dollars. In 1971, right? So fast forward today, 1 ounce of gold. $1 ounce of gold today is $2,200 in 2023. Let me check if that's right or not. What the price of gold is $2,030.70. Okay. That's how much it is today. So now we're going to look at some other things. How many US dollars are in circulation today in 2023? It says right here $8.28 trillion are in circulation. Okay. The U.S. has 8,134 metric tons of gold. Now we got to find out. 1 metric ton is 2,204.62 pounds. Now we got to find another thing. One troy ounce. Okay, so 1 troy ounce is 1.097 ounces. We're going to find out the total amount of dollars that are in circulation and divide that by the total amount of gold. Let's find that out. First, we're going to find out the metric tons and convert that to troy ounces of gold. So 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. So we know that. Okay. And 1 troy ounce is equal to 1.097 ounces. So we're going to see what that comes out to. Metric tons cancels out. Pounds cancel out. Ounces cancel out. And we're left with troy ounces. That's the units that's left over. So the U.S. has 261,547,917.3 troy ounces of gold. That's what 8,134 metric tons is equal to 261,547,917 million troy ounces of gold. Okay. Now we're going to find out how much 8.28 trillion is in real numbers. Okay, 8.28. So trillions cancel out times 1,000. That's 8,280 billion times 1 million, 1,000 million times 1 million. We could put it in exponents. So 8.28 times 10 to the, count how many zeros, to the 12. Okay. So that much basically. So now we're going to divide that with the number of troy ounces of gold. We could just use numbers like this too. We don't have to use exponents. Okay, so we come out with a number like 31,657.68. So per troy ounce. So if the dollar or the US dollar was to be backed up by gold, then 1 ounce of gold would be $31,651.68. Right now it's about $2,030.70, right? So if you look at it that way, let's go back to 1971 when gold was decoupled from the dollar, right? Back in 1971, 1 troy ounce of gold was $35, and $35 back in 1971 definitely bought more than $35 right now, right? So if you saved $35 in cash back in 1971 and you didn't invest that money, all you did was you just kept that $35 in your wallet from 1971 to now, then what can your $35 from 1971 buy? Not very much, right? But if you had $35 in gold, or if you bought a house for $20,000 back in 1971, your house would be worth maybe a house, for example, right now, average house, maybe $650,000. It was 20,000. It went up 32.5 times, right? How about gold? How much did that go up from 1971? $2,030.70 divided by 35. Okay, 58.02 times from 1971, as you could see. So if we really want to account for the gold, if we did have the gold standard, I mean, you would have hyperinflation right now, right? Because the real value of gold is this if you back it up with the gold reserves of the United States, right? So let's compare it to this number right here. So let's divide that by $35. So the money supply was inflated a whopping 904.5 times. So what this means is that inflation was exported to all over the world, right? If that inflation was within the United States, then there would have been hyperinflation. So this idea that we could go back to a gold standard is nonsense. It's never going to happen. Because if they did, we'd have hyperinflation, you know? So in terms of today's money, let's say a house costs $650,000. Gold is that much. So if we look at it this way, with 320 ounces of gold, you could buy a home with 320. How about in 1971? You could buy a home with house was 20,000, $35 an ounce. In 1971, 574.3 ounces of gold could buy a family house in the United States, the average family house. Okay. So let's say the United States decided to go back to the gold standard, decided to just confiscate everybody's gold, and either you turn in your gold or you're going to jail, like back in 1933 or something. Well, if that was the case, how much would it cost to buy a house in terms of gold at current prices? $650,000 at 32,000, 31,657.68. So 20 ounces of gold. Yes. If that was the case, 20 ounces, that's not going to happen. This is not going to happen. You know why? Because if that does happen, then everything else would have to go up more than that, right? Let's say the average homeowner wanted, even if they wanted 320 ounces of gold, right? At $31,657.68. Then the house price would go up to $10,130,457.60. If you revalued it and they wanted the same amount of gold as, let's say, 1971 value. Well, then, this is the price of a house. The house would have went up, let's say, from right now of 650,000. The house would have went up 15 times, right? So house would have went up 15.58 times. What about everything else? Would everything else go up in price too? Like fuel, food, and everything else? You're damn right it would go up because if the price of housing goes up, the price of everything else must go up. Let's say fuel went up 6 times right now. And currently, in my local area, I pay about $4.85 for premium gasoline. So you'd be paying $29. If this did happen, and let's say eggs, okay, I buy eggs, right, at the grocery store. Right now I pay about $7 for about 12 eggs. $7. Let's say eggs went up 3 times. $21. Yes, this if they did go back to the gold standard and revalue all the dollars that was out right now and pegged it to gold, there'd be hyperinflation. That is the very definition of hyperinflation. A house that goes up from 650,000 to $10 million, and a gallon of gas going up from, let's say, $5 to almost $30 a gallon. That is hyperinflation. That's very high inflation. So this is never going to happen. It's not going to. We're not going back to a gold standard. They just printed way too much money out there. There's way too much money in this world that they had created out of thin air. That's just not going to happen. If you have different opinions on what I just said, you could comment below and tell me about your point of view, and we can talk about it. So anyways, thanks for watching. By Ace 1000 KS 1975 signing out.